Hi, welcome to Strickland's and Friends. Today we're making taco pasta, and it's super good, but something that we want to point out about it is that this is a transitional food recipe, meaning if you are not totally plant-based yet and you're still trying to be convinced, then this is kind of like a stepping stone toward being whole food plant-based. There is nothing animal-based at all in what we're making, but it's not 100% whole food plant-based, meaning we're going to use a couple of packaged ingredients, but it's really good too if you are a whole food plant-based eater, but you are cooking for or trying to convince an ornery relative maybe who isn't quite so, like my brother, who isn't so interested in being whole food plant-based, doesn't want to give up things that they really like. Well, this might convince them that, yeah, you can eat some things that are vegan that are still really tasty, delicious, and maybe hit some of those same triggers that they have with some other foods they like. So my brother, for example, really likes Mexican food, so this is taco pasta, and we are using a couple of pre-packaged ingredients such as this Sweet Earth Chorizo plant-based sausage.
And that's the main reason you're talking about this not being idealistically
right.
whole food plant-based, right?
Right, so we are using this already made, it says chorizo style sausage plant-based links by Sweet Earth, and it is a relatively new product. I haven't seen it in stores, too many places, but I did find this one at Whole Foods. I've already opened it. That's why there's a big hole right here, but I opened it. So we'll take it out, get rid of that, and then it comes in 4 links. What I'm doing is doubling this recipe, so if you are just making one recipe of it, which we'll post the ingredients, it will be 8 ounces of pasta and just 2 of these links. So, and we did use a store-bought pasta, so it is this stuff, the whole wheat penne rigata from, this is organic whole wheat penne rigata, 365 brand from Whole Foods, and I've already cooked it, and it is draining in the kitchen sink. So we use this, and it's ready to go. We're also using a store-bought salsa. This is the Whole Foods brand organic thick and chunky medium salsa. And this one is, medium, so it's not super hot, but it's also not really mild either. So you could use the super hot if you really like spicy, and you could go with the mild if you don't like spicy. We just went with medium and split the difference.
This is what you used last weekend?
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
It's really good. Yes, it is.
It was plenty spicy.
Was it? Okay, good.
Yeah, very much.
We're going to start with the Soyrizo, or you could, so there's other brands of, I'm going to go ahead and take the peels off. I mean, you don't have to actually remove the casings from these. They are also plant-based, but I'm just going to do that anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the pan.
Does that mean they would compost?
Possibly. I'm not 100% sure what's in them. I know it has possibly a little coconut oil in it, but I mean, you can stick it in the, I don't know if it's cooked or not. You're not supposed to put cooked things in compost, I guess, but anyway.
It goes in the compost.
Sure, it's going in the compost. Okay. The dog will now be very interested in our compost. So, but there are other brands of vegan chorizo out there, like Soyrizo is one of those that's been around for a long time. There's also, I saw one today by a company called Beehive out of Nashville, and they have a chorizo sausage as well, so you could go with that. But you want about 6 ounces of it for one regular recipe of this, but I'm going with doubling that because we're making a lot. So, because we're going to bring some to a friend here in a little bit. So, okay. There we go. Thank you. A little more stuck to my finger. All right. And we'll
this is
let
a really, really good friend we're bringing this to.
Yeah.
She'll never know how good a friend she is unless she watches this
video. Exactly. Because there are people like my brother who would probably fight her for it. So he ate this last weekend when we were all together at my mother's house, and he said, okay, this is the best thing you've ever made, and I could eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So,
And he'd be better off, too.
and he would be better off if he ate it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, here's a little more. But he really does love Mexican food, so I think this just pushed a lot of his buttons. It's creamy, delicious, spicy. It's just all that stuff all at the same time.
Too.
Probably a little salty, yeah. So fat and salt. That's
From this sausage thing.
Yeah, from the sausage, exactly. So okay, so we're letting that cook up, and you notice I did not put any oil in the pan because the chorizo has a little bit of oil in it already from what it's made out of. I'm not really sure. Okay, so while that's cooking, the other things we're putting in, we have 2 bell peppers, red, green, yellow, orange, whatever kind of bell pepper you want to put. And remember, I'm doubling this recipe, so this is actually 4 bell peppers, and I use 2 red, a green, and a yellow. Look how pretty that is. That is just so colorful. Quite beautiful. All right, and then we have, for the regular recipe, a half of a red onion, so I'm doubling it, so I use the whole red onion. And we're also going to be using Kite Hill cream cheese, which you could use Miyoko's, you could use Kite Hill, your favorite non-dairy cream cheese. Kite Hill works pretty well. Miyoko's would work really well too. They didn't have any Miyoko's when I went to the store, but they had Kite Hill, so I got that. Okay, and we're also going to be using salsa. So in the regular recipe, it's half a cup, so I doubled it. We have 1 cup. Oh, we also have a jalapeno. It's half of a jalapeno, and what I did was buy one of those huge jalapenos, so that's 1 huge jalapeno. And we have some Southwest taco seasoning mix that I found at Whole Foods, and it is organic. All right, whoa. Dumping it out. Okay. Ooh, these are looking pretty good. Okay, so that looks nice and browned, and we're going to dump it into a big bowl and set it aside. Scrape that out. And then we'll be adding the peppers into that same hot pan. There's no need to wipe out the pan because of the flavoring that's still in the pan.
You even still had some chorizo kind of cooked to the bottom of it.
Right. So that'll be nice. It'll flavor the peppers. And then we're adding the onion. We're going to add the onion over there. There we go. I'll do that. And then we're adding the jalapeno, which I always make him cut up the jalapeno because I wear contact lenses and I really don't want to touch jalapeno unless I can help it. I usually wear gloves because I don't want to ruin my contact lenses. So, okay, and we can add just a splash of water to keep it from sticking. Instead of putting oil in, we'll use water. So pretty soon though, the liquid from those peppers and onions is going to come out and it should stop sticking all by itself. All right, so we have peppers, and we have onion, and we have jalapeno. Okay, so now the onions have gotten translucent, the peppers have softened, and I think it's just about ready. It looks pretty good. We want to get it nice and tender. So if you really like your peppers still a little crunchy, you could take them out a little earlier. But remember, there's onions in there too, and this is red onion, so you do kind of want to cook it. You could use a white onion, by the way, or a yellow onion, but red onion seems to go a little bit better with Mexican food, so we're just went with the red onion. So it's even got the chorizo stuff that stuck to the bottom before is now all over the peppers, which is really good because they're nice and seasoned. So there you go. Okay, and then we're going to make the sauce. Okay, so it's 2 cups of water. It's actually 1 cup of water in the regular recipe. I'm doubling it. And a half a cup of salsa, so I have 1 cup of salsa.
Water and salsa?
Oh, yeah. And then we're going to put 2 teaspoons of this Better Than Bouillon no beef base. So it tastes like beef broth, but there's no beef. And you always know when you look at the vegetarian, it says vegetarian across the top, but also there's that little heart in the V in the heart right there. That means vegan. So we're going to put a few little teaspoons of that. Uh-oh, it's kind of sticky. Okay, we'll put a few. I'm actually not going to put 2 whole teaspoons because the sodium content is kind of high on this. So we're just putting a little bit less than that, but the flavor is still good. Okay, and then I'm adding the cream cheese, which I've already taken the top off of. Get all of that. Whoa, it just comes out in one big block. Look at that. Okay, and then we will start getting that melted down. And that's going to take just a second to get the cream cheese part to melt a little bit. But we want it to get nice and melty and make a creamy sauce. Go. This is the coolest little handy dandy whisk thing I found for making sauces. It's Pampered Chef. So I had a friend who was having a Pampered Chef party and this was excellent. So I went ahead and got that. All right. It just has to get a little warmer to get the cream cheese to melt in there. All right. So it's still working on it, but we're going to go ahead and add the Southwest taco seasoning. And that'll help thicken it up just a little bit. If you don't want to buy taco seasoning, you can make your own. Pretty much just involves some chili powder, some cumin, a little oregano, garlic powder. You can also just add hot sauce to the top. So you could make your own if you want to. If you make your own, you could add a little bit of cornstarch or potato starch or tapioca starch to help. Just a little bit, maybe half a teaspoon or less to help thicken the sauce. But you see how it's getting nice and thick now. Because
Did you add a thickener last weekend?
I just added that same thing that we have right here. So that's what's making that sauce get thick. Okay, and then we're going to add the pasta. So if you'll grab that. So I already cooked the pasta according to the package directions, and then we're just going to dump that in. And then I'll go back to my other utensil. We'll get the pasta very nicely coated in this good creamy sauce. And then we're adding back in the cooked peppers and onions and jalapeno. And we're adding back in the cooked chorizo. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. Look at that. I don't think we've forgotten anything. Look at that. Ooh. So you want to get it all coated with that delicious sauce and then serve it with maybe some lime wedges and some cilantro or if you don't like cilantro, maybe some green onion and some avocado would be really good chopped up on it. Maybe a little hot sauce. One of the things we've discovered we really like on Mexican food is some chopped radishes. So gives it a nice little crunch and they're kind of spicy. Look at that. That is beautiful. And it's done. And if you want to get a fork out, I'll let you taste it.
Great.
Oh boy. And then we're going to pack up a big pan of it and take it over to our friend. All right, you're going to tell me if it's as good as it was last week. And then maybe blow on it because it's hot. Good? Okay. Yay! Okay, so remember, this is a transition food. Perfect for you if you are not quite ready to go 100% like whole food.
Or if you're trying to get some relatives or friends to
right.
move the dial a little bit.
Right, so if you're cooking for somebody who maybe isn't quite there yet, then this might help convince them that yes, vegan food is good. So good luck. We wish you luck in that.
Yeah, it did taste good with beans.
Sure, you could add some beans to that. Black beans would be really
Well,
cool
I mean
in there.
beans instead of the chorizo.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You could use, instead of the sausage, you could use a can of, well, here, like this kind, some organic spicy black beans. You could throw that in instead.
Yep.
You're going to have to use a little more water for sautéing the vegetables. And remember, the vegetables got sautéed in what was left of the chorizo, so that added some spice. You may have to add in some maybe chili powder, cumin, and smoked paprika, but that would work. We could do that. Now, it's still going to have this, the Kite Hill cream cheese, but
Sure.
that's, or, you know, or Miyoko's, or whatever kind of plant-based cream cheese you want to use. But, yeah, so it gives it that good creamy flavor and texture, and, oh, it's just so good. So,
Y'all are really going to enjoy this dish. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, see you next time. Please click at the top for videos that we have found to be very important.
Click at the bottom right to see one of our featured videos.
Subscribe to our channel by clicking our icon at the center of the screen.
And turn on notifications so that you can get our videos when the fruits and vegetables featured in that video are in season and at their best.
See you next time.